Good morning, Royal Family, and welcome back to another episode on the Coin Kings channel. I am your host, Down to Crypto TA. All right, dang. Um, Getting that pumpy action from Bitcoin after it hit our key level yesterday. One that I was watching, one that I said that I would be interested in taking a long from, as long as it looked presentable. And that was here. I was looking at the fact that the 4 hours can't really do too much more than this. If you are, then you're about to roll over, and then the expectation would be down here. But I let you know that it looked like we were either there or we were close to it. This was going to be it right here to look for the long. We had the golden pocket sitting right here as well. Psychological level. And so we're getting this little bounce. This is exactly how I left everything, had everything on the stream yesterday. So I'm looking to see if we're gonna pause out. I think I could probably pull this down a bit right here. If I just do it like this. Yeah, so this is up above here. It's no issue because we got the wick right here. So a scoop of the liquidity right here could be a rejection point right here. Um, so that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, about exactly where it is right there is what I'd be looking for. If we manage to push up any higher right now, we could just start to flag out a little bit. And if we do that, ooh, scary thought. I know we have FOMC today. I think we do have FOMC today. Let me just double check on that. Let's see. Calendar. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We have federal funds rate today at 2. So we could be getting a little pre-market volatility for this, anticipation of this. Um, cool times, fun times. One of the worst times to actually be in a trade, to be honest with you. So I took the long here. I took the long. And then I'm no longer in the long. And this trade has gone on without me. So let's see. We're at a little bit of resistance in between this 5%, 50%, and that 618. We're at a little bit of resistance right now. I just want you to know that we are at a little bit of resistance right now. I could draw the fib differently, and it might make more sense if I do it like that. And so let me just do this right here real quick, and then we'll pull up my let's see. No, we're not. We're not. We're still off what I was looking at. But we're at a ton of prior support that could be acting as some sort of resistance. So unfortunately, I did not hold my long enough. But that was the long that I took. As I stated, I would be interested in taking a long down through here if it looked proper. And once we got here, I went ahead and closed it out. I could see us putting in the flag in here, but I went to sleep last night, and I there are certain trades I will sleep um, with open, and then there are certain trades that I won't get much rest because I have them open. And this was just one of those situations because of how wild we've been ever since we hit the target. It's been a little bit extra ever since we hit the target, though. I said we could be starting to flag out here. We did break up out of a squeeze after we did this flag. We broke out of a squeeze on, let's see what time frame. 15 minutes. Yeah, on this time frame right here, we had a squeeze that we broke up from. So um It may not be done, but I know that it is treating this little area right here as some sort of resistance at the moment. So see if we flag out again. This is where you start getting your shallow pullback. This is where when you seeing a flag like this, looking for a 382, you're seeing a flag, looking for a much shallower pullback. So I usually go with this because that's what you want to see. If you got a genuine, little flag, you got a little flag, little bull flag. You got your pole, you got your little bull flag. You shouldn't be um dropping into golden pocket and 786 off something like that. You should just be doing this much right here, this much damage right here. And so we did this flag over here as well. Let's just check it. Let's just check it. See what I mean? See what I mean? That's what you do. That's what you do. So you'll have a clear invalidation if you were to have taken a loan. It shouldn't be more than that. That should be it. Because the flag is bullish, right? You bullish, what's a bullish field retracement? That's what you get. You got a bullish situation, you get a bullish retracement. You get anything more than that is not bullish. It's a discount. Bullish means people willing to pay a premium for it. But it's all good. Bitcoin is a little crazy right now. So I honestly don't know what to make of all of this. I could count it all, in the ABC correction. And this is the correction of the correction. That's how markets move. Oh boy. Hilarious. At first we weren't getting past like the 50 and the 382 and here we weren't getting past those and then the thing was like, yeah, let me flag out. Let me flag out. Got the break up from the trend line in here. So little trend line that ran through here, which was a wild trend line because it had to be corrected more than once. The only way to not correct it is to actually draw it from here to here. Your very first 2 points is the only way to not have to deal with this. So sometimes I will do that. Let me see. Sometimes I will do that, but that's the only way to not have to correct the trend line is you don't wait on these right here. You just put it exactly on your first two. It'd be the realest thing in the game right there. It'd be the realest one. Anyway, um, don't have any discrepancies in the chart right now. I don't have one until we start fiddling with this liquidity right here, which is around the golden pocket. Like I said, that could be a place to take a scalp short. We'll see how that looks. Or just go ahead and take the chance and get stopped out if must be getting stopped out. Just managing risk is the only thing there. Beyond this point right here, you're not gonna look at this. You're not gonna look at this 786. Okay. Yeah, this point right here. Uh, we've gone a little bit too far. We've gone a little bit too far if we're all up here at the 786. Take a look down here. So last night, this is how it went for me. I had this set as my when price came up, because remember we were holding through here. We had some bullish divergence on the 1 hour. We had the exaggerated bullish divergence here on this time frame, and this was our low. This was our floor right here, and so I had it set for this right here on the way up, and then I was doing something I hadn't done in a very long time, which I brought it back. I brought it back 'cause it makes it easier for me to see. Makes it easier for me to see. Um, the floor rising. So I put that back on my chart. You don't see it right now. It's down here in this little hidden box right here. So basically, price would have to break below here in order for. I mean, this is how I do it anyway. But price would have to break below here before it rolls over. Where usually I'm looking for more like the pivot areas, but as opposed to the floor. But this ended up being the new floor, and we ended up ranging in here, putting in the flag. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm already out of the position though, and I'm going to sleep. So that's what we got. And so now it is here, which would make more sense, easier for me to identify it like this right here. Just wait and see what happens. If it does want to roll over and lose a little steam, but like I said, we got to break up out of. We got a expansion from a Bollinger. Got a Bollinger expansion in here right here, and the mouth is still open, so it's still pretty strong. Can take chance right here with a slight deviation above your above that high, or just wait for that liquidity grab, which is would make more sense if we get that liquidity into that golden pocket retracement. 7, 7, 9. Now see, there's a level in here for the 1 hour. Let's see how we react around this level. I'm gonna sink it. All right, so it's coming in right around the golden pocket, which can be exactly like how we were looking at things yesterday. So it is coming in there. Okay, let's check the chat here. Green. Yeah, just took 50% out. That's good. And good morning to you too. You in the loan from last night. That's great. That's great. I closed mine out, Kareem. I closed mine out right here as we start the flag out. I closed mine out. And I went to sleep. Um, but I'm looking to take a short now. But nice job. You're killing it. You're really killing it. Yeah, this expansion ain't playing. The 4 hour might just be getting started, so we're gonna have to see exactly what it is that we have here. So many shorts opening that is drawing the price. Yeah, that's exactly what's been happening. the entire time is shorts have been getting squeezed, so yeah. Yeah, so many shorts have been getting squeezed. The market has really seemed like it. I mean, from these time frames that we, the low time frames, the 4 hours acting like a low time frame now, so it's in the center somewhere, you know, rate for trading, but, it is still, uh, high. Yeah, from the 4 hour down at this point, um, it can give you some some temporary information that looks like it's gonna last, give you some hopium in that relationship that's not gonna last, if you're looking at the 4 hour and lower. Um, the daily and higher still looks like we can go higher. Like we'll last a while, but they're late. It's late information. It's really late information. Really got to have a plan. Uh, but yeah, trend reading is strong. It's about to hit like some unsustainable, potentially some unsustainable levels in here. But like I said, it could just be looking to flag out in the event of that. Um, I'll mark this one. Change my colors a little bit. Gonna be a danger zone, and we can maintain this. We can keep going off of this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna slightly adjust this to here. Could possibly push it up into here. I know the floor is starting to rise a little bit. Um, I have it set to a different standard because it's so volatile over here on the 15-minute time frame, but I can explain it to you. So, what happens is over time, the market stops, you there are no new lows being put in, and once that happens, once you start to see no new lows being put in, when you have a low priority in your script, you'll start to see a rise somewhere. So, a rise from the low when you stop seeing new lows get put in. And so that, um, will start to indicate a reversal could be coming into play. Now, you won't see it do it until it's over time. This is set on a a 50. So I have it set on a 50 right now. And right now, it is this, momentum right here. So the momentum right here is the one that we would need to see respected. Like the last time momentum got this low, we held. So we wanna see that happen again right here. If it pushes up into this one, then I would move it because usually this is like the first one that I would look at, but we could if we're gonna reverse from here if we're gonna reverse from here, we'd be breaking down below this. So just something to watch for. See, that's the first time you can actually see it right here, and this is just the RSI. I just didn't feel like replacing, switching them out because, um, I got all this data on this one, so I just didn't feel like switching them out because I would have switched them out and just had these 2 on the chart right now, but it I just don't wanna delete my back testing and all of that good stuff. I don't wanna delete all of that. So, I got 2 RSIs on the chart. Oh, boy. Um, but yeah, but through here, you can see that the trend remains strong. That means you can't see the RSI at that point. As long as you can't see the RSI, the trend is still strong. You don't have a reason to touch it. Once you can see the RSI, once you can actually literally see it again after it leaves the band, then it's a little looser. The strength is a little looser, a little less strong. And so you can see we're getting a little tap here. You know what? These are the same color. That's not gonna work. I'm just not realizing that those are the same colors. Okay, let's go with orange again. Orange on the bottom. I didn't realize I was putting in the same color. I'm gonna stretch this, and that way it'll move that dot so I can see. Okay, nice. This is just pure volatility, which is nice. Which is nice. Um, what time? Oh, it's at 2? It's at 2? The meeting's at 2? It's always at 2? Yeah, it's always at 2. It's usually when he starts talking around 2:30. I mean, they but before he starts talking, the information to be factored in unless he says something surprising. I don't think we're expecting, um, any cuts or anything like that. I think, we're just let's see. Yeah, we're not expecting any cuts, so that's already baked in. I mean, if he was to say something, like he cut rates, and that'd be a surprise to the market. Market would go crazy then. But, it'll be when he starts talking at 2:30 that'll really make a difference. We had to get that little liquidity grab too. We had already took this liquidity. It wasn't that liquidity grab I was looking at this one right here. We had to get it. I'm just gonna label this 1 hour. Um, that way we'll know. Oh, that's big. Mm, 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 mm. Let me see. Okay. I'm just thinking about pulling it like that at all. Never crossed my mind. Even though it is an extension of this move right here, it just wasn't dawning on me at the time to do it like that. To see a drop to 76K double bottom and then come up again. A drop would be nice. I would like to see with that double bottom a higher low. Um, that would be nice. We've gotten a pretty nice some pretty nice momentum here thus far, to suggest that we could. Depends on how much, how deep we pull back in. If we're holding up somewhere around like a 50, somewhere like that, below 40, yeah, I think so. I really think so. Um, I think so. I think we held pretty decent yesterday, right here, because we were talking about this right here, this level right here, the fact that this is not gonna match, this is not gonna match right here. So that's why this was a good place right here as well. And you can see we swiped it just enough to flip back up above it. So I like that, and that was encouraging as well. We only did 38, 58, which isn't bad, but I don't trust the 4 hour. I honestly don't trust the 4 hour, which is why I'm looking for that lower high, and then we take this liquidity right here, and then we can start over, in my opinion. But um, I don't like the 4 hour. The MACD is attempting to cross up here. Um, it hasn't yet. You can tell that from the red candles in here, but it is attempting to cross up. You already have a signal cross. So you have the fast signal from the MACD, which is just the MACD crossing the non-EMA. So you have the fast signal already, but you don't have the MACD above the zero line, um, which is the slow signal for the MACD. You don't have that yet. You can tell that from here too, because you don't have a cross between your 12 EMA and your 26 EMA, which means MACD is above the zero or below the zero when you do get a cross between a 12 EMA and a 26 EMA. And that's for anybody who don't know that. You put a 12 EMA and a 26 EMA on your chart. That's a representation of where your MACD is located. I'm just gonna put on the standard MACD, not the one that I use. So, where the heck is that? Here it is right here. Moving average convergence, divergence right here. So you have the MACD crossing the non-EMA. You already have that signal. You can't tell that from my chart right here, but you can tell that there's some sort of a rise out of the MACD because of these green dots right here. So it's converging. You see those green dots, it's converging. It's not converging, or it's converging in the downwards. If you see these red dots, then it's converging closer to its 9. So that's the fast signal. And the slow one, again, like I said, is when you see the 12 and the 12 is the orange, I'm sorry. The 12 cross below the 26. That means that the MACD itself just crossed below the 0 line. Let's turn MACD into, actually, let me turn off the histogram. That's when you can see that line up. That's when it crosses below the 0 line. So that's why they call that the slow signal for the MACD, because that's the one where the MACD crosses below the 0 or up the 0 line. So you can see through here, everything stayed green, and it stayed green because not worried about these corrections. These are just corrections. It stops being a correction when MACD crosses below 0. If I'm looking at an uptrend, it stops being a correction when it crosses below 0. You can see one time right here. See that little cross right there? It didn't last though, because I mean, nothing's gonna be perfect. No indicator's ever gonna be perfect. So it crossed right there, but it didn't last, and so we got that reversal right there. So the entire time you had a nice little strong push to the upside because MACD stays above the 0 line. Over here, this is the process of it coming out of the 0 line right here. Over here, so you can see your cross between your 12 and your 26 EMA. It's a representation of MACD above 0 line. So MACD is out of the bearish zone. It's still bearish as long as it's down here. I don't care what kind of moves you get to the upside. It's still bearish until MACD crosses above the 0 line. And then from that point, you might get another little pullback. You might. But as long as you're holding close to the 0 line, then that's just a reversal. You probably have to use something else. I prefer to use like a RSI because it has boundaries. A MACD doesn't have boundaries. It's outside of the 0. It doesn't have boundaries. So you can't say we're overbought and oversold on the MACD. You just can't do that because it doesn't have a boundary except for the 0 line. That's the only boundary it has is the 0 line. So, yeah, on a pull I from that point would look for a pullback that actually holds up or reverses quick enough, one of the 2. But like I said, it's just a 12 and 26, 12 and 26. MACD convergence, divergence, how close is it to the non-EMA, and how close is it to the 26 EMA or the non-EMA because it's the MACD, my bad. How close is the MACD to the non-EMA, and how close is the MACD to the 0 line? Convergence. How far away is the MACD from the non-EMA, and how far is the MACD from the 0 line? Moving average, convergence, divergence. Moving average, convergence, and divergence. And then, of course, actual divergence. Yeah, instead of just looking at a simple cross, you got more details in the MACD than just looking at a simple cross. and it works the MACD works really good with the RSI too, and, you can either you can change the ribbons. Well, actually, no, you can't have my RSI ribbons, but, they are interchangeable, which is why sometimes I just have that on. Today, I don't, I just got on the MACD. I got on the EMAs, those 2 EMAs today over here on the 4-hour chart, um, but yeah. Now if you wanna take it a step forward to say where MACD may be looking to, slow down, because like I said, on the MACD itself, it doesn't have a boundary. The MACD itself doesn't have a boundary. Your boundary would have to be something like your 200 EMA if you were looking for something, but that's gonna be the EMA, it's not gonna be the MACD. So you can use the 200, you can use a 400. Those are the 2 I like to use, 2 and 4. It's 200, you're quite extended if you're tapping into a 200, and then the 400 is whoa, like, that would be like looking at your RSI and being, below 20 or something. I have said I wanted to do some classes on indicators. Um, I've started hearing a lot of other people say they're gonna do some, and I assure you, you're probably not gonna hear. I'm not being salty. I haven't seen salty in a while either. I'm not being salty, but yeah, it's some people just don't take the time to really understand the indicators, and they charge you for the basic information, and that's basic information. That's something that you should just know that. You should just know that part. I heard someone saying that yesterday. MACD, MACD overbought and oversold. I'm like, it doesn't have a boundary. It doesn't have a boundary. Now you can compare prior momentum too. You can compare like where did exhaustion come in from the MACD before? Like you can compare things like that. But to say it's overbought and oversold, you're not looking at the MACD if you're saying overbought and oversold. You're not looking at that. You can look at some EMAs and say we're out there, but you're not gonna be able to look at the MACD and say we're overbought and oversold because MACD doesn't have a boundary. RSI has boundaries. MACD doesn't have a boundary. It has zero line. Yeah. Then when you get your divergence on your MACD, that 12 EMA and that 26 EMA is gonna come in handy because 'cause you'll start to see them getting closer and closer and closer to each other to play out that bear div or that bull div. You'll see them start to get closer and closer and closer. So, like, that's what we got. That's why Bitcoin is chilling. That's what we got over here. So I already took that MACD off. I'm gonna turn that part off. So we got oh yeah, actually did not get divergence. I was gonna say there was some divergence here. The divergence must have been for the MACD itself. I had to turn one of these off so it stopped. No, didn't even get it. You didn't even get it there. So sorry. You did get some right here though, where you got the lower high on the MACD and then the higher high here on on this side. Uh, um, did you get it on the Delta histogram? I just call it histogram. You did not. You did not. But what ended up happening was that divergence. Get rid of that. I turned the MACD into histogram into columns. So between here and here, what you did end up getting was a correction. And then from here with the correction, you're watching these two get closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. But what happens? They never cross. They don't cross. That was your divergence being played out right there in the moment. They don't cross, which means the MACD is still bullish. And up it goes. Up it goes. I like to just put it on the chart like this too and just leave it like this. Just leave it like this. I don't even need the rest of the information. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Uh, you can put your 9 on here if you needed it, just like that. But that's it. I'm up here. Can't do but one color on it. Dang. I'm up here. I'm bullish. This is all green. And down here, this is all red. I'm all green. Just like that. I'm all red. That's a good way to do it too. Because you don't need both of them. You don't have to have the histogram and the MACD. You don't need both of them. The point of the histogram is to show you where they're starting to converge, where the MACD and the 9 is starting to get closer together, which is why the histogram starts to lighten out or darken out. That's why it does that. You don't have to have it on your chart. You don't have to have it on your chart though. And then of course it goes to solid red once it crosses the MACD crosses the 9. You don't have to have both of them on your chart. I would suggest if you didn't have both of them on your chart to go with this though, to go with the MACD instead and take the histogram off, simply because the histogram can turn light, indicating that these are getting close together, these 2. getting close together, losing a little bit of steam, but the MACD can continue to rise, and the price action is following the MACD. It's following the MACD, so 'cause this will start to get light. This will start to get light, and then you'll see this right here. You'll see this red down here below on your histogram. You'll see all that, but guess what? You're not changing because price action is following the MACDs. You don't need both of them. It can make you a little bit confuse you a little bit. It can. It's if you don't understand it properly, it can confuse you a little bit. So I would take away the histogram. You have this. Turn this into your histogram or your column bars or whatever, however you wanna do it. Use that instead, the MACD instead. You won't see the divergence, that often though, I will tell you that, because most of your divergence, you're gonna see it from your histogram. You're gonna see most of your divergence from this right here. So that I mean, that's part of it. Yeah, but I'm just saying. Excited about my little book getting here today. It's only 140 pages, so it'll be an easy read. Mhm, mhm. I don't guess it wants to go down any more than what it is doing right now. It lost some strength in here on the trend, but it was a pretty sharp move to the upside, and we're moving pretty slow with it right now. A little slow. So hour looks like we're coming down to 73,500 ish. 73,500 ish. Um, very possible. Very possible. Somewhere around there to take that liquidity is what I would be looking for if we get a solid rejection through here. If we don't get a solid rejection, then maybe we continue trying to push higher. But I would maybe we're trying to take the liquidity from the top and just have to start over, whatever the situation is in here. It could be trying to take this liquidity up here. Do I not have liquidities? I think I deleted. I think I deleted some stuff from here. Yeah, could be reaching for this liquidity here. I'm gonna go ahead and highlight that. So liquidity starts from here. And give it a little cushion. I don't want to give it too much cushion. I'm not gonna do any more than, let's see, give it that much cushion. Yeah, 'cause if we don't if it's not just if we're pushing up and we're gonna get into this golden pocket right here, I would like to see that rejection, like the clean rejection. Right now, we're playing around. We are starting to lose some of that volatility right now, from that Bollinger Squeeze. I can see we're starting to lose some of that volatility, um, in here. But if we get too far away from this little red line right here, we could be looking to take that liquidity. I'm gonna leave this in here, but there's really nothing in here. Just space. Like we had some struggles right here in the past. We did, we did have some struggles right here. We found it very difficult to get past this zone right here. I think it was a daily level, right there. I think I can at least see. No, the daily level, it's a weekly level. So it's a weekly level right here where we've had issues right here before. And that weekly level is simply the pivot is this right here. So the weekly level is this right here. So we've had a lot of struggles right here at this level. If I put it back on the 4, we'll be able to see it, I mean, under 15 minute, that this is the one that I'm talking about. That's the one that I'm talking about right there. I have to I have to zoom this thing too far out to see the numbers over there. But, the number itself, again, if you didn't see it, that's 78,430. Like, we did have some issues over there. Why is this showing? Okay, that's because I have a 10 to just show on this time frame. I was like, how is it even getting in here?" But yeah, it's that 78,430. It's that same level, 78,430. So we have had some struggles right there. So what I will do, yay, come on down. Come on down, come on down. Just a little bit, just a little slight little slight correction. Just a little bit. Fading a little bit more. That's cute. Still steady. Okay. It's a previous day high. So if you're feeling bullish, you wanna stay above that previous day high for sure. Or it's like Kareem said, the first scenario, um, from Kareem would be that we come in, we put in a double bottom or, a slightly higher low in here, and then we push up, to go for that liquidity at the top side up there. And the other scenario is, that it rolls over and it comes to this liquidity. It's at this point, come on, me, like, yeah, last night when we came up where I closed out at too, I just redrew this trend line, just showed you an example of, putting it on the first two little pivots that you get. That's gonna be your most accurate. I mean, that's what I would follow along with. Most of the time, this time I decided to do it a little bit different. Um, but here we was at the prior day low before market had, um, you know, that prior day low through here. So yeah, saw that little flag. Whoa. And again, because we're not putting in any new lows on this 15-minute time frame, more than likely going to end up moving this up here, especially if it goes back up here. If it comes back up here, which it more than likely is, it's just holding. Um, it's just holding. We're holding standard deviation 1. So we're in the pocket for the Bollinger Band. We're in the pocket. You're bullish. You're bullish as long as you stay. Um, as long as it stays in that pocket, it's still bullish, even though it is starting to lose some volatility. It's still bullish um, for sure, as long as it's still in here, within here. As long as it's still holding that standard deviation 1, it's still, it can do that. It can do just like over here. It can do that. Want to see it lose, but then again, like I said, it's moving so slow. It would just probably be some more consolidation. It could just be some more consolidation, and I don't think traders are gonna have a good time resting if it don't come up back to that golden pocket, right? They're gonna be able to rest if it doesn't. If it doesn't, like if front ran the golden pocket, front ran the golden pocket. Increase in momentum. I'm gonna drop this. We don't need this line on here anymore. That's done. Let's take a look at our increase in momentum that we have going through here. Increase momentum. It was steady right there. We never came back to this trend line, so our strength continued to rise through here. So this is where we're at right now. It's here. That outside bar. That's the other thing too. When you have an outside bar, you should not be holding around that outside bar. Like you should be moving in the direction of that outside bar with ease. You really should. The fact that it got that shaved bottom and bulls were able to even even come back up, like, that's wild. You don't get an outside bar. This is a great example of an outside bar. This is an outside bar. Right behind that, the strength just comes through. It just comes through. Another outside bar with a shaved bottom and pause. Wow. Here's an outside bar. What happened behind that? Bears didn't push that price down again. It pushed up higher. Like you just keep like outside bars are aggressive candles. So whichever side is giving that aggressive candle, they should be able to continue to show that strength. And if they're not doing it, then like I said, this could just be a little bit of consolidation. Won't get too far again, and then come back up here one more time. And if so, we're gonna draw a new line. We're gonna follow this momentum until it breaks. Why crypto YT? Good morning. How have you been? Oh, I have not enjoyed the market since we hit that initial target up top. I have not enjoyed Bitcoin since then. I just wanted to make a decision at this point. It's like, what could we be holding out for? Like, is it the new Fed? The new Fed chair? Are we holding out for the new Fed chair? Because we just absolutely know that he's going to cut rates. JP isn't. I don't know why we're really stalling. I mean, other than squeezing out shorts, like, markets are really making some money. Yeah. Yeah, we haven't got a good move. Yeah, we really haven't got a good move. I guess the only decent move was that short that had took place to here, but I didn't catch the short. I didn't catch the short. I know on that specific day, that particular day, I was going over the stock market. That was on Monday. I wasn't paying attention to the fact that we had this aggressive move over here. And yeah, we followed it up. I did end up, like, before I ended the stream though. But I was still thinking that it was going to try to come up. I noticed that we were hitting the shallow field retracement in here, but I didn't pay attention to any of this, and it was too late anyway. I wouldn't have wanted to. I could have, you could. That's a good place to take it from there. But yeah, I didn't even take this up here. I did not. When I got stopped out from this wick in here, when I got stopped out from my short from that, I left it alone. I just really didn't want to. I don't know. It's been weird. It has felt weird lately. The daily looks like it's tired, but tired enough to just get a correction. Not saying that we have to reverse. We can, but the daily just looks tired enough to correct more than what it has. And so the little setup over here, it's just been a waiting game. Oh, we took the liquidity off of the mother bar. Like I said, we had plenty of time in the day yesterday for it just to be a sweep. They just taking it from both sides, took it from that side, took it from this side. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah. Took it from both sides. And I don't know. We had a little. I don't like to play with the outside bars too much because they don't always pan out the way you're looking for them to pan out. I prefer like a inside range over the outside bar. Outside bar tend to indicate like some sort of megaphone situation, which means that volatility is expanding to the upside and to the downside. So some sort of a megaphone in here somewhere. I don't feel like hunting it down. But yeah, like the daily just seems like it's tired enough to pull back a little bit more than what it has, but haven't been able to catch that position. Was talking about that also yesterday. Like we broke momentum, like rising momentum, we broke, but I understood that we were going to be far off from this in the moment. In the moment, we're not gonna meet. This isn't gonna match, and so that could be a floor right now. And slide this over so to stop. But if we'd have got the clean continuation below here, it would again imply that this liquidity right here gets taken. Because the inside range is a 1-to-1. Like that's how you measure the move on a on I'm sorry on the out on the inside range is how you measure the move is with a 1-to-1. And that's why on that weekly I could say 1-to-1 we get up here to take well this is actually the mother bar. The 1-to-1 would be something different on this. It would be taking this liquidity up here would be the 1-to-1 if we were to continue pushing up. And then of course, if we drop down, then 1-to-1 to be taking this liquidity in here. But I don't know if I subscribe to that. I honestly don't feel that I subscribe to that. And sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't hit it. Most of the time it does. That's why I play it so much. But there'll be a time or two where it don't. Be a time or two where it don't work. Maybe like right here. No, I got it. We showed this as the low. We wicked it, but we respected it. But I don't like outside bars that much. And if we were going up with it, it would have been like this. It would have been somewhere back into here, maybe the back test to breakdown. I didn't get that. So then the other one was the one up above there, which was this one. And we went to the downside. Would have been right here, but we didn't reach that first. So, sometimes it don't. Sometimes it don't. We bounced first, so we didn't reach that first. Yeah, we haven't really moved anywhere. Like if you zoom out on like the daily to the I mean the daily to the weekly still look like they could continue higher even with the correction. They look like they could continue higher. Um, but everything else has just been choppy. Been choppy. The more we hammer at this resistance that's in here, that's been plaguing price from going higher. The longer we sit around here and we hammer at it, eventually, it will get through it. Just a matter of getting enough people to sell. Can we get enough people to sell? So it looks like we're trying to hold this previous day high. Let me grab this liquidity right here. I'll move this up here. It's quite, it's quite bullish to that extent, unless we bear div right here. We won't reach it if we bear div. Actually, let me leave it there just to see first if it just does this much. We had you need an automated bot that's smarter than you. You're smarter than that bot. You are. You're smarter than that bot. It does make it easy though. I've never used one, but it does make it easy. We got Amazon reporting earnings. It's going to be interesting. We had Hood report yesterday. The call was boring. The earnings call was boring. It all went over my head. I'm like, oh, okay. Whatever just happened. My long buy that's been sitting in the queue for I don't know a few months now, it's gonna get hit. Like it's just gonna roll over and I'm gonna get that entry that I've been waiting on forever. It was boring. But I look forward to Amazon's. It's a lot of stuff rolling over there. We're not rolling over. You know what? It's small. It's small fries to me. When I see it, but I've been looking at plays from the 4 hour, just trying to find where price action is more likely to roll over from the 4 hour. Now, when you zoom out to like a 15 minute, it looks amazing. It looks absolutely amazing. And my little Amazon is holding on for dear life right now. All right, so we're looking for this liquidity to get taken first of all, before we look at that one over there. If it just blasts through here, then okay. Okay. I I'm gonna get stopped out. I quietly played that. I quietly played it because how could I not? How could I not take a chance on it? I quietly played it, so I'm likely gonna get stopped out from this right here, which is cool. I'm gonna play it again. I'm gonna play it again. It just depends on what it looks like once it comes up here. Um, comes up here, and I did a I did a quarter position size on it because I just don't feel good about the market right now. So I did a quarter position size on it. Even though it's moving slow as molasses. Amazon should be up with the 18K job cuts. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right on What Crypto YT. It makes a difference when they do that. I hate when they do that, but it makes a difference in how much income they have when they do cut jobs. But Amazon was at some pretty solid resistance also. Unless we're just getting ready to break up out of that. We were at some really solid resistance. So maybe a little correction, more of a correction than what we've gotten off of it so far. Um, I'm hoping. I'm hoping. I mean, and I'm long this baby since we got that drop over here. I'm long it, but I would like to get in, some more because what I was looking at down here, I don't know how long that's going to be, and I've been waiting for a very, very, very long time on that. But we were looking at this in here. We knew we had, got the swing up, and we was in this little rising structure in here. Momentum, the bullish divergence through here, still grinding price higher. But at this point, you can see how we came into uh, some resistance. We actually came and hit the top side of the pattern formation in here, which I adjusted as I explained in the post that I did on it. I adjusted that I raised because it was sitting on, I think the last one it was sitting on was this one right here because we got the rejection in here the last time too. So I raised it up. And so that's what we ended up coming back into and just swiping that. And then I missed that. I wouldn't have taken the short on Amazon anyway. I just like to look at it. I like to spot buy in the stock market. Yeah, I don't, I'm not really with all of the other stuff. So, but it was still a good setup. And the other option would have been for it to break through here and just kind of look around this 278, somewhere around 278, 279. I keep saying 278. And I think when I posted on it, I said 278 too. But since then, through here, we were looking at this. It's supposed to be our relative strength high right here at the time. And that has worked. Now it doesn't look like it got much of a move here. If I push out on the 15-minute, then it was pretty decent. It's pretty decent. It's a pretty decent sale. Let me turn that off because I have to keep putting in those numbers on that. But it's a pretty decent sale if you zoomed out on it. Looks like I got another line in here. Unless that's my after hours. So not bad. 4 hour. I'm watching. I called this a floor for something. I want to see it. I want to see it break below this right here. I don't think that. Let's see. Do I have that on over here? I do. I have it on over here. I have it set so far out. I have it set so far out though. To show like where to make it easier to see where the high could potentially cap at for Amazon. But again, like I said, you can see a few times right here as we're coming up, we had managed to push up again, but I, it would just be a higher low if I go off of how I have it set, because I have the I said I have the compression set to about a 50, so it's not a tight compression. If I tighten it down, you'll see like, yeah, if I tighten it down, it and it's the RSI. Again, I explained that it's the RSI, but I got the compression set to just a 50. I do something more like a 20 because I just want to see what ceilings and lows are likely to come in at. Because like I said, for me, the stock market, it's a it's a longer term investment. So I'm looking for buying opportunities. I'm put on 20, so set it to the 20. Then you'll see the compression a little bit different. Like I was explaining, like if it keeps pushing up, keeps pushing up, then eventually the floor is going to start rising on it to suggest, okay, well, this is where you could probably catch a short at from here now. So you can see how the floor continued to rise up, but it just makes it easier for me to see it than for me to just be like, okay, when we break down below this one right here, or when we push up into this one right here. But you can see how it wasn't getting through here. So it was calling this a ceiling right here. It wasn't flexing at the time, so it was still a good ceiling for price action. But the low was coming up, which suggests that pressure to the downside was more than likely going to be the outcome. And then you get that little drop off right there. But this isn't rising up enough. So maybe back here about 239, maybe right here, about 239 could be a good place to pick up some more. You got this first. I don't know why I got this right here though. I don't know. I think I'm looking for sort of a fast. If I did a 10, maybe, but this is a 24-hour chart. I just don't see myself. Yeah, see on a 10, it's on it already. So it's really squeezing in here. But that's just a little bit too much for me. So keep it pushed out. Keep it pushed out to a 50. I know right here on MACD, was it the weekly? No, it's the monthly. No, it's not even a monthly. So it really doesn't have any, there's no issue. It was a 4 hour. Okay, yeah, it was a 4 hour. It's a 4 hour with all of this, that background in there. It was a 4 hour. With the bear divs in here too, but it was a 4 hour that was given the extreme bounds, like a really extreme move right here. It's a waiting game when you get it though. Extreme to the downside. I think the last extreme up, I don't even know how far back that was. Yeah, you had gotten a few more extreme downs, but I'd be looking forward to at least do that little bit, possibly that little bit. Um, Unless it just falls through. It doesn't look like it will though. It looks like it just puts in a higher low first and then it might continue up. And if it does, I would watch that right there. Let's just say it gapped up today. I would watch that at 278. But I didn't buy enough when I bought, so I would not be mad on at least taking back this part right here from this rise, at least dropping back to take in that. Did we have a gap? The gap is all the way down here. So, yeah. I would like for it to at least take that. Bitcoin is trying to get back above that standard, trying to make its way back inside of it. This is giving me a hard time. At least I thought it was. Yeah, because it came back up. It came back up the level that I was looking at in here. So it's this. It was this in terms of it getting a breakdown, which it did, but it was this field retracement right here. This max pain 1.272 max pain level right here. Which, like I said, when I posted on this, I said this is as much sense as I can make out of it right here. But this is another one that's just more than likely going to be a higher low and continuation to the upside, which is crazy. I don't like this chart at all. But maybe maybe that 1.618 will do it if it gets past that fib level. It's been wrestling with it. It's still pretty close to where it could roll over in here. It's not getting any momentum, isn't increasing through here. No bullish divergence at this point. No bullish divergence at this point. Like it had over here, because it had bullish divergence to here, but no bullish divergence at this point. Just fading momentum, at least as far as the RSI is concerned. Yeah, AMD. I think AMD did have a gap, and I think it did have a gap, and it bounced in that gap. Yeah. Yep. So AMD bounced in that gap. And I was using this time frame right here for AMD. I'm gonna move this. Set it there. You can see the bullish divergence against that one little candle right there. And that gap fill actually helped a lot. And then of course you had this breakthrough here. So again, the bullish. I had a bullish line drawn in here. I think I had it drawn from here to here, but I deleted it yesterday on stream. I deleted it because you could see it and it was just in the way, and it was really hard to make it fit in here properly. But yeah, that's just bullish divs, and we was at the we're at the 50% retracement anyway, which is the mean reversion right here for AMD, which was this right here, exactly where it got the bounce from, that mean reversion. So you have to relook at this and find something else because it's coming back up. That I was watching Apple yesterday, um, around this 382 50% retracement, struggling right here, just struggling right here. And we had identified the one for Apple. Um, oh, I just used a ray on this one. Because I was looking at this chop in here, which at some point I could have moved it higher and higher, but it doesn't matter. It wasn't after that little drop, wasn't getting past that. So now I'm trying to project like what would be a low for it, just based on this momentum trend line right here. So if we're losing this, obviously, if we're losing this, then Apple, you know, might just come all the way back down here. Hopefully it'll hold there and won't break the low of this little pattern that it has in here. But it is also a rising wedge on Apple. Also a rising wedge. So they're not until tomorrow. But that Amazon, oh boy. And I wanted to consider a long on Palantir, but that was only if Palantir continues to hold the 382 that it's been holding it. It's been holding it. So if it continues to hold that, then I'm gonna look for Palantir to break up through here. I'm gonna look for that breakthrough here. I want it to hold here. If it comes down a little bit closer to this, I'll go ahead and take an entry on it. That way I can have a invalidation a little bit closer. But it's just, yeah. I don't know right now. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wicks into this thing, or five taps into it. No, 1, 2, 3, 4 taps into it. So I don't know. But if it does hold this 382 field, then yeah, I'm looking for it to break up through here. And I said I didn't want to touch this one until it actually came down to like here. If it was gonna come here, I mean, that'd be great. That would be great. But that's the ceiling right now, and that's the floor right now. This little wedge right here. Then this is bullish if it holds this 382, 50% retracement. If it holds the bullish duo, if it holds that, I like it. If not, then won't be so lucky to come back up this trend line again, because it got lucky that time when it broke below here and it came back up. The 1-to-1 with the little 1-to-1. This is what it is for this right here. I don't know why I got this right. I must put this on another time frame. But this is what it is for this over here. Google. I think initially I looked at this over here, which, there's no discrepancy between that point and that point right there. There was no discrepancy. There's really no discrepancy between this point and this point right here either. There's zero discrepancy. It's just momentum, and that's, that would be it. So you don't even get to come down this level because the close the close over here off of this top, when it got above here, it was this top candle. It was that candle exactly. So there's nothing other than the line from which it capped out before to use as the break, because so far it hasn't come back up this level, and that is the exact candle that pushed it above here. Above that line is this exact top right here. So that's why that looks like it looks. And yeah, if it falls below, confirms below this line with intent, then you got a short. But the short would have been that high right there. It would have been that you would have entered on that high right there, or waited for the momentum to break that trend line down there. And then Microsoft, I didn't do it for Microsoft. Microsoft had already been doing what it's doing, but it's holding here pretty decent. That might have been a 5382 right there on Microsoft. Yeah. So that was a 5382 right there with the support level in here, monthly level in here for Microsoft. So um I don't know, maybe one more flex in here. Maybe. I have to put it on this now. But if I didn't want to put it on that, I could just do it like that. Tesla's holding. Tesla is holding. So this is a squeeze right here. This is a squeeze. So if it's gonna break out, it will break above here. It will break above here. Obviously, it'll break above there. If it's gonna, this squeeze is gonna break to the upside, then I would be looking for that break, because that is a squeeze. It doesn't happen too often. I mean, your moving averages are tight together. I would think that this is going to break to the upside and come back into all of that. That's what that would be my assumption, since it's already below 50. My assumption is that it would break to the upside. Um, and it would do it with ease too, because there is, yeah, it's all the way up. The ceiling is all the way up here based on how I have it set up too. The ceiling is all the way up here. The only thing that ever flexed was the low in here. But the it changed this to, I really hate to go outside of that 20, especially for something that's volatile. Yeah. Yeah. Personally, personally, I think it breaks to the upside, but time will tell. I'm not touching Tesla. I'm not touching Tesla at this price. Tesla for me, it's gonna have to drop down lower, and I want to play with it. Uber, Uber, Uber. I tell you, Uber. It's in the middle of nowhere. As far as I'm concerned, it's in the middle of nowhere. far as a fib is concerned, it looks three wavy. See, I don't like that already. I have to change that. Yeah, it's in the middle of nowhere. So maybe if it came down here back to around that 72.68, perhaps right here. Whatever it's doing, I'd like for it to do it before earnings. I'm an investor um, in this one, in Uber. Yeah. Let me check, see, check this one. I haven't pulled these out in a minute. And let me hide this. We had this here. We talked about this was a good floor for a while, and I think we ended up moving to what was it? I had to reach all the way back. I can't tell you. Yeah, it was this one. It was this one. I had to reach all the way back here to find where momentum, took a pause at the last time. It dropped that low, and I had to push all the way back there. Otherwise, it's waiting for it to recover this floor right here, which is just as good. A little late, but just as good. So my thoughts the last time we talked about it was struggling to get up here, but my thoughts were that it could do this and do this right here. I didn't believe, I don't, and I still don't believe that it comes back up here, but see, Bitcoin is rejecting. Yay to my short. Yay to my short. A little bit more. It's still in the same place. It hasn't gone any lower than it had already dropped below before. Let me just unlock these. I can spread them out a little bit. It'll be so much easier if I just drop the line, or a box. Some stuff is really that readable, that easy. This happens to be one of those. This right here. So yeah, it's dancing on top of it now. So yeah. And the only reason why I was only saying these two is because this is where it struggled at before, is in here, and then again right here. This is where it struggled at before. And I think I don't have that on, but let's see. The fixed range in here. Yeah, it's above that. It's above that. So yeah, my thoughts exactly is it will either do this or to do this right here. But it struggled here before, so maybe it'll struggle here again. Don't really think much of this. I mean, perhaps, perhaps this is the highest. This is the highest it managed to go before. That's a 90 freaking 2. A 90 freaking 2. An amazing strong push. Good Lord. Good Lord. Amazing strong push. And then the other one right now is right here, or it's hovering around right now, which could be, like I said, get to this 105. It starts to have a little bit of a battle there at the 105. Let's see if you get a hammer. Yep. See if it gets a hammer right here. This 105. Last but not least, still was looking at SPY. SPY's relative strength, how was that? I think I did post on this. I know we talked about it on stream on Monday, but and I think I may have covered it yesterday too. But we had the break in here. Of course, when the RSI gets like this, the first thing is a correction. Either a shallow pullback or it'll put in some bullish divergence. But it'll be one of the two. Anytime it gets healthy like that, you're gonna get, no need in fading it, looking for, some heavy hitters. But it did break this momentum through here. I think I explained to you why I initially had it drawn off of here, which was incorrect. And then it should have been like this. And the reason why I was incorrect is because right here, it put in some bullish divergence. I don't want to pull from where it got bullish divergence at. Anyway, I'll pull behind that. And so this is the trend line right here for it. Want to see it break this. I think when it breaks this, or if it breaks this, I got some numbers in here. Yeah, trend line support is about 696, 685. That'll be the trend line support. Excuse me. Actually had gap down below it. Back test into the gap. Yeah, so it looks like a lot from this time frame. From this time frame, it looks like that was a lot. Like I said, trend line would be the thing that I would look out for. It's that trend line. You spy me. You spy me. Surprising. This one is just still chopping. Interesting. Putting in a wedge. Putting in a wedge. It does again. This one does still suggests. It's been holding up pretty rather well. Still suggests that it gets back in here. Gets back in here. It's back up here towards this top up here. But it's such a choppy Verizon, such a freaking choppy chart. Choppy. And this one was holding after the earnings, and it dropped into the liquidity. This one held a slight rejection from the trend line break. We still have to get back above here, but I am in the green on now. For now, still in the green for now. Still in the green on now for now. I think I had this set to a 28 when I did it. It's no biggie. And that's just the difference between that one and this one right here, which exaggerated. But I got a floor, which I have to fix this floor because I got to fix this floor because I was using a 28 when I did this. So I don't want to give out bad information. So take that away. Yeah, we were a little bit too fast right here. We're a little bit too fast. So you can see how we put in the bear div right there. We're a little bit too fast, a little too fast. So if they extend this 5, they extend this 5. Uh, pardon the noise. Pardon the noise. There is a Fib retracement down here to 67 based on how I did the no, I didn't do that for this chart. My bad. I didn't do it for this chart. I have to go back in and do it for this chart. But this order block, I mean, you really don't want to be outside of the order block. But could it be a liquidity grab? Absolutely. Can be some sort of a liquidity grab through here. Um, I counted 5, but maybe they want to keep it going. I won't be mad. I'm going to buy this one. I cut it off at 42.80. So I cut it off. So you got some levels in here though, in this little box right here. I already tapped that one. Then you got the 75 and got the 67, which I'd be a buyer again at this low down here. Otherwise, I'm sitting in this. I won't be selling. I won't be buying until it gets down to this low right here. Then I'll do it again. Oh, look at Biddy. Look at Biddy. Too late. Every time I start running my freaking mouth, every time I start running my freaking mouth, it hits what I'm looking for or something. No. It dropped. It dropped well below. It dropped well below. It hit one that was in here for the 1 hour. Dang it. I could have taken my little profits. I'm over here running my smacking my gums over here. Is this just Binance that did this though? Is it just Binance? I don't see it on Blowfin. It's a Binance thing. Why Binance always do this? Dang it. What's wrong with Binance? Did it do it anywhere else? Let me just make sure that it's not just a charting thing. Did it do it here? No. Did it do it here? No. Did it do it here? No. Here? No. Here? No. Here? No. Here? No. Love you. It's just freaking Binance. What in the world? Hmm. It's stuff like this that makes it hard to want to deal with Bitcoin. Because if you were long from here, which was a good entry, you might have gotten stopped out. They grab this liquidity right here, though. They grab this liquidity right here. Mm. Left behind bullish divergence because it moves so fast. Mm. Hmm. I just want to check and see if the golden pocket lines up right here if I pull this down further. So I can see if I can leave it like I have it. Yeah, I can leave it like I have it. So the golden pocket would be here and here. Then if you were looking for the 786, you would need to snatch this back down again. All right, the little short's playing out, but I only put a quarter. Only put a quarter on this thing. You might want to take profit on it, so let's see. Close it out. Oh, okay. I see the 4 hour trying to hold. It was another little section, another little low in here for the 4 hour. Let me unlock it. Let's see. Because if the 4 hour loses this, that's going to be great. But I can see it trying to hold it. Sorry. Let me just get it pulled down. Make it evened out. Yeah. So it's just right here. Let me slide it over a little bit. The way it's not distracting. That's a bad place for the 1 hour to be below here. It's a bad place for it to be. This would be what it needs to hold. So I'm gonna turn this green. Let me find another green because the greens start getting confusing. Like 36 minutes left on that 1 hour candle though. I'm gonna tell you guys this right here before I leave, because I do have to go. I'm not gonna run over time today. I know my Y Crypto YT, he usually leaves me around 8 o'clock every day too. So um the 4 hour remains the same. Critical level for the 4 hour, critical level for the 4 hour. If that changes, I'll do a post update, but it remains exactly the same. Critical level for 4 hour is those two. That's 75,893 and this 74,097. Those are going to remain your critical levels here. And you can just go off of your golden pocket Fibonacci retracement if you golden pocket 786 Fib retracement if you like to. But this right here, this is critical. So in the event of the liquidity grab down here, it would have to come back up above this. So if you're losing that's not going to be the biggest deal. Actually, let's just pull this down. So it's the golden pocket. So on the liquidity grab, if we end up seeing that, liquidity grab, you want to see it come back up. If it starts moving away from here, yeah, you know, it's a lot of problems right here already. You got your ascending momentum right here. You got the golden pocket. You got a critical level right here for the 4 hour right here. You got the liquidity all down here. Got some stuff. Got some stuff. And we got FOMC. That's the biggest thing we got. FOMC. Yep. So that's my plan, and I'm sticking to it. Sticking to it. This is good though. If you're short though, if you short it, this could be good. This could be good. That could be, that could be it. Just looking at the 4 hour, um, capping around the mean, to the upside, that could be good. Especially if, I mean, if it just rolls over from here, that's good. That's, that could be 1, 2. That could be. or it's just part of the ABC correction. Yeah. So this could be good. So far, there's been no actual strength either direction at the moment. Well, the trend isn't really all that strong. It's been very choppy. Everything past this point, again, like I said yesterday, everything past this point right here just doesn't make sense. Past this point, it doesn't really blend very well. But we managed to get her done. This doesn't blend very well. We had the rising channel in here. We had like a rising channel through here. It wasn't the most perfect draw in here, but more of a rounding top. I've heard others call it a rising wedge, but it doesn't have enough touches for me to say that. You can only connect two lines, and that's it, which is fine. Which is fine. Um, but you don't actually need the top line. You really don't need the top line to validate anything. You don't. You don't need it to validate this breakdown because we held this trend line right here, which had multiple touches. Multiple touches. We work with this for a while before finally breaking below it. So we do know we have a shift in momentum in here, a shift in the trend, possibly a shift in the trend in here, and we'll be looking for it to put in this lower high and get another drop down, at least one more. So far, we've gotten one drop. So drop one. At least a second drop. We need at least a second drop. It's a little shallow. It's a little shallow. Unless like I said, there's a lot of ways to pull a fib, right? This was one way of pulling it with the 50, showing that's the rejection zone here on this 4 hour. And the other way of pulling it would have been the extension from here to here to here, which was a 786 tap. For the extension of this move, where we got the bull flag. And if I did it like this, it will only line up with that golden pocket right here, and then the liquidity that sits in here. So that's a lot of ways to pull a fib on it. But we saw if we changed the compression, um, I think I went as deep as a 10, I believe. No, I didn't. I think I may have done a 20. It's too much. It's too much noise. It's too much noise. It's too much noise. Yeah, way too much noise for me. I just rather leave it just like that because it's way too much noise. It's old school it until I need to glance. Maybe this time it bounces again. So this one's done. Take that one away. I guess we should thank Binance for saying that's what Binance was saying to us. It was giving us the warning sign. It wasn't trying to mess with us, It was giving us a warning sign. I'm gonna give you a warning shot. But I must go. I love you and I see you tomorrow.